What we just witnessed this weekend did not simply shake up the NASCAR Cup Series standard. It may have completely redefined the tone of this entire season. And the wild part is that what happened on the racetrack is only one half of the story. Because while one driver just made history in a way this sport has genuinely never seen before, there is already real tension building behind the scenes. Not the manufactured kind. This is the quiet, slow-burning kind that starts in private conversations, travels through garage corridors, and eventually finds its way into the open air where it becomes something far more difficult to. There are two major stories coming out of the circuit of the Americas right now. One played out in full view of every fan watching from the grandstands and from home. The other is still developing in the background, but already carrying enough weight to influence how this championship season unfolds. Both of these stories matter. Both deserve your full attention. Because if you care about this sport at any meaningful level, if you invest yourself in the championship battle, the rivalries, the strategy and drama that makes NASCAR unlike anything else in motorsport, then you cannot look away from either of these stories. Tyler Reddick did something this weekend that no driver has ever done in the entire history of the NASCAR Cup Series of the circuit of the Americas. He did not simply win a race. He executed a masterclass under pressure, managed tire wear with precision, made strategic decisions that reflected championship-level thinking, and when it mattered most, when the driver everyone considered untouchable on a road course was right behind him, Tyler Reddick held his nerve and drove away. Driving the number 45 Toyota for 23XI Racing, the organization co-owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick opened the 2026 season with wins at Daytona, then Atlanta, and now COTA. 3 consecutive wins to start a season. No driver has ever done that in the modern era of NASCAR. No driver has ever done it in any era. Nobody. And on top of that, 23XI Racing became the first team to win the opening 3 races of the season since Petty Enterprises accomplished that feat back in 1960, a record that stood for over 6 decades before it was finally broken. The most striking part of this achievement was not just the consistency. It was the identity of the driver he had to be, Shane Van Gisbergen, the road course specialist who is virtually untouchable when the circuit has turns in both directions. Shane Van Gisbergen started from 13th and immediately began carving through traffic with the precision and aggression that makes him so dangerous. By the end of Stage 1, Shane Van Gisbergen had already worked his way up to 3rd. He and Ross Chastain had made the calculated decision to short pit, sacrificing stage points in exchange for track position. Ross Chastain ended up winning Stage 1, with Shane Van Gisbergen in 2nd. Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, A.J. Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Carson Hocevar, and Denny Hamlin rounded out the top 10. Meanwhile, Ryan Blaney had been showing impressive long-run speed. Ryan Blaney ran down Chase Briscoe and took control before pit strategy began flipping the running order, as it always does at road courses. Stage 2 is where things became genuinely chaotic. Ryan Blaney regained the lead during pit cycle. Shane Van Gisbergen restarted from 15th with fresher tires. Connor Zilisch spun in Turn 1 after contact from Daniel Suarez. Noah Gragson spun between turns 6A and 6B. Josh Berry looped his car mid-pack, but managed to recover. Alex Bowman received a pass-through penalty for an uncontrolled tire. Austin Cindric lost significant time with a broken shifter. Up front, Tyler Reddick took control of the lead for the first time since starting for pole. But with 3 laps remaining in Stage 2, Tyler Reddick pitted from the lead, a deliberate strategic sacrifice to gain better tire life. Ty Gibbs. That decision allowed Ty Gibbs to win Stage 2. A.J. Allmendinger crossed 2nd in that stage, followed by Daniel Suarez, Todd Gilliland, Tyler Reddick in 5th, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney, Cole Custer, William Byron, and Shane Van Gisbergen, sacrificing stage points for long game positioning. That is championship thinking on full display. Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney. Stage 3 is where the intensity reached its peak. Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney were running up front. Shane Van Gisbergen slotted into 5th and was watching and calculating. Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell were engaged in a fierce battle inside the top 10. Chase Briscoe. Then serious trouble arrived for Chase Briscoe. With 32 laps remaining, something broke in the rear end of his car. Chase Briscoe had been running in the top 5, but that mechanical failure sent him to the garage and ended his day. Green flag stops cycled through. Tyler Reddick pitted with 26 laps left. Ryan Blaney followed shortly after. Shane Van Gisbergen came in a lap later. Then chaos from Ross Chastain. Chastain, who had won Stage 1 and been one of the strongest cars all afternoon, spun off course because of a loose wheel that detached from his car entirely. NASCAR threw a caution. Ross Chastain was held for 2 laps in pit lane as a penalty, with additional sanctions expected the following week. During that caution, some teams pitted, but Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Connor Zilisch all elected to stay out on older tires. That decision shaped the entire finish. Separately, Alex Bowman climbed out of the number 48 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet, feeling physically ill. Matt Snyder got in and finished the remaining laps in Bowman's place. On the restart, Shane Van Gisbergen immediately passed Ryan Blaney for second and position directly behind Tyler Reddick. Connor Zilisch spun for the second time at turn 1. Zane Smith got collected and his day was done. Further back, Kyle Busch made contact with teammate Jesse Love, sending Chris Buescher spinning at the exit of the final corner. But none of that mattered as much as what was happening at the front. Tyler Reddick versus Shane Van Gisbergen. That was the race. Christopher Bell, on fresh tires, powered his way to third, but never had enough time or clear road to reach the... Shane Van Gisbergen closed in on Tyler Reddick. Every fan watching understood what was coming. Shane Van Gisbergen on a road course, closing, laps running out. Here it comes. But it never came. Tyler Reddick was calm. Tyler Reddick was smooth. Tyler Reddick made 0 mistakes. With 5 laps left, Van Gisbergen stopped closing and started fading. Tire wear, dirty air, the toll of a long afternoon, whatever the reason. Tyler Reddick pulled away and crossed the line nearly 4 full seconds. The final top 5 saw Tyler Reddick win for 23XI Racing. Shane Van Gisbergen second for Trackhouse Racing. Christopher Bell third for Joe Gibbs Racing. Ty Gibbs fourth also for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Michael McDowell fifth for Spire Motors. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, A.J. Allmendinger, and Denny Hamlin rounded out the top 10. 95 laps, 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 52 seconds. 3 wins, 3 races. An achievement this sport has never recorded before. And Tyler Reddick himself said it best. Beating Shane Van Gisbergen on a road course, the guy he had been chasing on these circuits, made it that much sweeter. Now here's where the second story enters, and this one carries a different kind of weight entirely. According to reports from sources close to the paddock, Shane Van Gisbergen allegedly made pointed internal remarks following the race, questioning the nature of Tyler Reddick's permits. These are not public comments. These were reportedly private conversations with team members and close associates that were never meant to leave, but they leaked. The concerns being attributed to Van Gisbergen reportedly include the suggestion that Tyler Reddick's car may carry an aerodynamic advantage difficult to detect during standard inspection, that the cornering grip appeared to exceed what regulations should permit, that the straight line speed was stronger than expected from a fully compliant car. That tire wear across long runs was unusually low compared to the rest of, and that there may be subtle aerodynamic tweaks in place, along with strategic ballast placement to optimize weight distribution and produce superior stability on corner exit. These are serious claims, but here is what must be stated clearly. There is currently 0 official confirmation of any irregularity. NASCAR has not announced an investigation. 23XI Racing has not responded. Nothing formal has taken place. These reportedly private remarks found their way into wider circulation, and until something changes officially, they exist in the space between rumor and allegation rather than established fact. What they do reveal is that the atmosphere inside the garage is not comfortable right now. Insiders describe the mood as tense. 3 consecutive wins. A dominant showing at a road course where Van Gisbergen was expected to control the day. A growing margin under maximum pressure. When someone wins with that kind of consistency, the human reaction is to start asking questions. When a margin becomes extraordinary, people look for extraordinary explanations. Is this simply the frustration of an elite competitor who was beaten cleanly and is processing defeat the way intensely competitive people sometimes do? Or is there a genuine technical concern that has not yet found its official path? The honest answer is that it is too early to know. Until NASCAR says otherwise, Tyler Reddick won cleanly in the official results and is doing something historic. What these reported remarks accomplish, regardless of what is ultimately true, is that they elevate the rivalry between Tyler Reddick and Shane Van Gisbergen beyond 2 fast drivers competing for wins. This is now about pride. It is about legitimacy. It is about dominance and whether it is accepted. That is a different kind of competition, and it is one that will follow both drivers for the rest of them. Tyler Reddick sits atop the standings with 3 playoff spots effectively secured, momentum through the roof, and the entire sport watching. If this stays clean, we may be witnessing one of the greatest season starts in modern NASCAR history. If it turns controversial, this could become the biggest technical storyline of the year. Either way, the 2026 season has already announced itself as must-watch every single week. The racing, the strategy, the drama, the rivalries. This is exactly what this sport is built on. And right now, there's nothing else quite like it.